Welcome back, folks. That's me leaving the house, getting ready to go out to Black's Hollow with old Daisy Mae and Bean. We're getting ready to have a weekend of motocross that is going to be amazing out here at Black's Hollow MX track. They had some pretty cool stuff. That sign's one of them. As you can tell by the dust, it was a two-part series. Now take a look at this number 41 right there. That is a 82.5 Husqvarna Silver Streak CR 500. They made 500 of them. 300 of them stayed in Europe. So 200 of them made it over here. So that's such a rare bike. We checked the serial number out and cross-reference it and everything. And it's the real deal. And he's out here racing it, having a good time. And if you're like me, that's what you want to do. You want to get out here and race these bikes like this. It's not pristine. The guy said he didn't want it pristine. And pretty nice fellow, sitting there talking to him about it and everything. Thought I'd include my usual snapshot that I had from the races. There was a couple really cool jumps right after the start-finish line that were not high, but they sent you out far, and you could just pin it and keep it on them, and a very vintage-friendly track. Now we're going to start out with race 3. That's going to be your 40-plus expert and intermediate, your 50-plus expert and intermediate, 60-plus experts, 70-plus intermediate, post-vintage women expert riders, and the Ultima 500 intermediate riders. And we will get this started here directly. Jamie's going to give us the 2-1 30-second sign. Getting ready to drop it. They had just got done watering the track, so this first moto was not terrible by any means. I got everybody out in front of me there. That dude in the yellow shirt, his buddy come up to me and said, that's T. Ewing on that Suzuki up there. He said that it was his first race in so many years that I'll tell you what, I don't think he took long to knock the rust off though. But if you remember last video, me and old Brian Haney got into it, and him and I are about the same speed, and we're launching up toward the sign, and here comes that dust. And these first motos, that dust was darn near impossible to see through. That's for darn sure, let me tell you. He's out there on that Husky, just letting that thing rip. He's in the 40-plus expert class, and he's giving me all I can do. That turn there, until I caught on to kind of square out off a little bit, it always swung me wide on the left-hand side out there. But I'm not doing bad. I think I'm coming out here in about 5th spot. And I know that Brian Eichelberger on 551 is out in front of me. He's in my class. I don't think I'm even going to smell the tailpipe of that young man. He is checked out, on his way to checking out. And I'm going to give you the what happened here. Because me and Brian are going to mix it up. Did not mean to come in there, but I mean, sometimes you just run out of real estate. I thought I was wide enough there. Sorry about that. Heading up there, there's a couple of roads you jump over on all the things. Now, there's a camper up here. We kind of hit this little bit of a grass track. I'm going to try to slide to the inside of it and power out, but he's got a lot of horsepower on that bike for sure. Hoping I can steal the inside here. Bam. That's all she wrote, folks. I do get her restarted. It takes me a little bit, but everybody gets back by me. Very frustrating. And I am going to play catch up, and that left Craig Lowry, who's in my class, around me, and that was my own stupid fault. I shouldn't have been racing Haney that freaking hard. He's not in my class, and I should have laid back, and if there was a spot to pass, take it. I knew I didn't have anything for Brian up front there, but it's a little feather in my cap, I guess, if you can say that if I can get in front of Craig on the start, that's a huge bonus because it's hard for me to get back around him. And I'm not going to do it on this moto, that's for darn sure. And we're going to kind of splice this together a little bit. Right there, and I took out, we were on the last lap, and I was so far behind a lot of those guys that I wanted to keep it fresh here, so I'm behind Mr. Zarantz up there in the 69J, and him and I are I'm gonna try to steal back whatever I can. Heading back down over the hill here. Now this turn, it felt like I'm gonna take it to the inside there. Head back up over the little road jumps here. But that turn down there, I saw some guys taking it to the outside. I just don't know how much that helped you out down there. It was such a wide turn that outside, it felt like you could get the RPMs up, but it didn't. I don't think you made up your real estate there toward the end, for sure. Heading back down around where my camp was at the end of this straight stretch. We ended up parking down there for the weekend, and it was a good spot to watch this turn. Now I got Craig up in front of him there, or maybe that's Haney, I'm not sure. I didn't know about that little grassy spot that they had there that you could grab a little extra traction at the end of that straight stretch. You weren't cheating by any means. It's just the way they laid the track out, and that inside of that turn worked out well. Now this is right back where we started before. I made it back up Mr. Haney here, and back down around. He's looking, he sees me there. We're all good. This last little loop section here, I didn't try too hard, but if he was going to give it to me, I was going to take it. That dip right there, it really caught you off guard at times, that's for sure. And there's a checkered flag. There's old moto number 1 in the books. We're going to jump on the KTM here, and this is Moto 14 on the KTM. Old 702, old Mason Groves there beside me. And I got Anthony Lowry out in front of him. Old 565. That'd be Holden Bredlinger. The real show is up in front of me here with, looks like 61. That'd be Mr. Schultz and Anthony are just tearing it up here. I think I'm around him, but no, he comes around that inside up here. We're doing a good job down here screaming around him in third place in the field. I'm feeling pretty good. And I cannot believe Anthony's got that old Yami freaking cranking as much as it is, but if you can't tell, if you're not out front, you're not seeing real well. You're definitely not seeing the whole track. It is a dust bowl out here by the 14th Moto. They watered the track as much as they could, but it didn't sink in. It wasn't enough water, and kudos to them for trying. I mean, you gotta do what you can do. So everybody was just doing what they had to do. Now right here, there is a jump. Bam. You can't tell in the video very well, but let me tell you, I about went over the bars. I couldn't see the jump, and it come up on me so fast. I was like, oh. And so right then and there, I thought, I'm backing off a little bit. I got to be able to see. And then you start heading up over this hill, and thank God for those barrels. Otherwise, I don't know how in the heck I'd have seen the track to get up through here. And one thing I'm going to note here is old 702 is behind me. This is the first lap. This don't happen very often, and I'm thinking to myself, I got something for the young man. Back down over the hill, toward the start-finish line. Let's just take a look behind me, and I got Brett Reichert right there, and there's old Mason Grove. And this is that reverse camera footage I was telling you about. And these guys are eating some dust. And Mason did tell me that he tried to stay in the grass or in the outside part of the track to give himself some better vision. Smart move, in my opinion. Past that start-finish line, 1 jump, 2 jumps, and if you can tell, he outbrakes me. He outbrakes me going into that hairpin turn. I was so mad. I was like, oh. Then again, this is the first motor that kind of jumps up and bites me. I lose traction, and then Brett just takes me out. Nowhere for him to go at all. I go to stand up, and I'm thinking in the back of my mind, please don't be there. And I can't pick it up with my right wrist. His number plate knocked me backwards. And it was my right wrist was very tender. That's why you didn't see me in the cross country. So we're going to start out on the CR390. And there goes Gretchen. There goes Eichelberger. And I have got the lead. It rained hard for probably a good 15-20 minutes, exactly what we needed. But the track is a little bit dicey at first here. It's gonna run in amazingly, but I'm running like I stole it. Back up over the hill here, and these guys are back there just mixing it up and giving me some breathing room. I ain't gonna lie. When I watched the footage, I was like, this is amazing. So, I am going to win this moto. It was the best moto I ever had on the old 390. And I'm going to end up for the day on the Husky. I was third behind Craig and Brian. And in this moto, I'm going to win it. So, I'm going to end up with a 3-1. Eichelberg's going to end up with a 1-2. So, he's going to end up taking it. I'm going to take second. Craig's going to end up in third. And as you can tell, they are mixing it up behind Charlie Walker and the boys back there. And it just helps me to walk away. I ended up with a huge lead, more than I ever expected. And you couldn't wipe that smile off my face. Up to this little chicane section, which I never really got used to. It was a good little slowdown spot. Because you were cranking her out there in 4th, 5th gear, for sure. Trying to hug them barrels. I am nervous as all get out right now. I'm just hoping to God I can make it down in through here and seal the deal, close the race off, and take that checkered flag. That's what I'm looking for. It is slick, folks. This is, you might be able to tell, it's got the perfect amount of moisture. It's a great soil base there. Underneath the little dip right there for the last time. Got the green flag out. Folks, that's how they're going to end up. Everybody's fighting it out behind me, and I had clean sailing all the way to the end. And that's how she went. Last race on the KTM. We have another barn burner. And I got Brett and Jeff out in front of me here, and this is going to be anybody's game to see who can steal the show. And let me just tell you, Jeff Kemper, he ran me clean, he ran me hard, and that was a stinking blast running with him. I could just pull right up beside him, but who is that behind me pulling a wheelie? That stupid Junior Mason Grove. Oh my God, he jumps in between the barrels and me. Off he goes. You're not stopping that young man. He's down over the freaking hill here going, just freaking letting her sail. Now watch this. I included this for a reason. Okay, we're going to go back around here. Unfortunately, you're going to watch Mr. Kirkland. Watch him in the white back there. Gets on the outside of the loose. Bam! Flips it. Face plants into the freaking dirt. Oh, that was a tough one to watch. I back up a little bit. Watch Mason. He's out here in this mix. And then there goes Anthony around me. The only reason I went out there in that loose crap was I saw Mason the lap before there doing it, and I thought, he must be getting some good traction out there. It must be youth and strength, because I went out there, I was completely out of control. I couldn't keep it on the track. And left the door open for Anthony on the inside, and I would have liked for bragging rights to keep him behind me for sure. He borrowed old Josh Shucker's bike up in front of me there. That's why you don't see him on the Yamaha. He's on that Honda. And he is getting after it. It like there was no learning curve there whatsoever. His throttle cable stuck on him in the first moto, and he ended up with the throttle stuck wide open. There was a little bit of a fray, and as you can tell right there, he about took Jeff Kemp out because he couldn't find the brake. I was stabbing. All of a sudden, wham! But it was way too late, and he just dove right in front of Jeff, and he didn't mean to come back around behind me there. Then this was a good race, though. Jeff's right up in front of me, and Brett's right in front of him, and we are in a freight train coming around here, wide open. I mean, I'm sure these girls at the tent, all they could hear was wah, 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 going by, because, I mean, we had her pinned. Up into this hairpin. I'm hoping I can grab some traction quick, and someone's going to lose traction, and I'm going to try to sneak up here on one of the Breadlinger boys, see if I can get something done, but, I mean, he is holding strong. I'm thinking that's holding up there, but I'm not 100%. Can't see the number plate real well. But Jeff's gonna swing her wide. He was doing this the whole time, and man, he was getting good traction around that berm out there. I could not get around him at that turn for no way. Back down over the hill here. We're going to run this one out a little bit more of its entirety, because I was trying everything I could to get around, and wouldn't you know it, it's like deja vu. The exact same spot he passed me at in the first lap, he gets around me on the second or third lap, and this is a 3-lap race on the second moto. Stinking Anthony on that Honda. I'm flat tracking it around here, and I'm not sure where he's finding the traction at, but he is pulling me right now. Pull me. Now these little sections here just pull up on the bars a little bit, wheelie out across them little strips. Back up through the chicane. I tried like hitting them berms and stuff like that, but it seemed like when I was following Anthony, I couldn't take the time to actually get out there and do that. And I'm not sure if we got another lap left or not, but I think we do. So back down over the hill. We'll see if Anthony can find them brakes down here at this nice little turn at the bottom. And he's going to find it, but Jeff's going to stall it out right there. Otherwise, he would have had me, and let me just check out. No, he's not in my class, so didn't matter to me, but I know it mattered to Anthony, so he was thankful to get around him right there. This should be the last lap. And I gotta have, there we go, white flag, last lap. Let's see how well we can do down here. If I got anything for Anthony left. Things are starting to space herself out. I think Brett has checked himself out. Breadlinger is keeping great pace. I think I got something for Anthony here. I got a cheering section there. Some of them volunteer flaggers. I mean, kudos to all them guys out there that stepped up and went up there and did some flagging for us. It's greatly appreciated. back up over the hill, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, if I can get up close, if I can get to that back tire, I might try passing him on the same thing and just let her hang out a little bit more. This turn right here, it's not going to swing me that wide. I'm going to keep it to the inside and try to see how much traction I got back there. He has just pulled me there, though. There's nothing I can do with that 250 up there. And Anthony's starting to put the pressure on Breadlinger. Now, Breadlinger's in the junior class. It'll just be a feather in Anthony's hat if he gets around him, but I don't see it happening. Not on this last lap, unless they screw up coming down the hill somewhere. Breadlinger this year has got it going on, and I don't think he's going to give up an inch of real estate to Anthony. But Anthony's knocking on the door. It's a high-speed track, if you can't tell. I mean, a lot of third, fourth, and fifth gear running right on the edge of your seat. And you were kind of experimenting, sliding back on your seat, sliding forward on your seat, just seeing where you could grab the traction at the best. Messing around with air pressure with myself on the Husky and this bike as well. And definitely seemed to make a difference. Especially once we got that rain, you could dig into the dirt a little deeper. Breadlinger spread it out. Yeah, Anthony I don't think Anthony would have backed off at all. I think Breadlinger just found another gear there somewhere. That's all she's going to write right there, folks. I'll talk to you a little bit later on. Renlo Park is next. We'll see you there.